So if any of you have read the Iliad is a powerful anti-war epic written by Homer almost 3,000 years ago. One of the most striking features of the Iliad are the gruesome depictions of violence and death. There's one scene in the Iliad where Odysseus, the Greek hero Odysseus, stabs a Trojan soldier in the groin and cuts him from his groin to his belly button. And the Iliad says the worst place you can stab somebody is between the belly button and the groin. That soft part of your belly is the worst place you can stab somebody. And think about the difference in time period. Think about getting stabbed today. Think about getting stabbed in 500 BC. Now, did the Spartans ever panic and retreat? The mighty Spartans, did they ever panic and retreat? All of you have seen 300. The Spartans panicked and retreated in 3 battles against the Thebans. 3 battles. One battle, the Battle of Tegura, the Spartans had between 1,000 and 1,800 soldiers. The Thebans had 300 soldiers. The Spartans panicked, ran away. The Battle of Spectaria, the Spartans surrendered to the Athenians. Now, the Spartans did not retreat at the Battle of Thermopylae. That's one reason why that battle is so famous. That's very unusual, very inspiring battle to many people because they fought to the last man. That's unusual, though. Most battles aren't like that. And the Spartans did have that reputation, but the Spartans were human, and they did retreat in multiple battles against sometimes smaller forces. So here's the interesting thing about all of this. There were a lot of battles back then. Ancient Greece fought all the time. Ancient China. The Persians were conquering all sorts of people. So if we have this instinct to run away and not get stabbed or not get killed, how were these ancient armies able to make soldiers fight and not retreat? So imagine you're a general now. You're a Greek general in the 4th century BC. And you know this about human behavior. You know that people don't want to die. How do you make your army not run away? But there's a single most effective technique that armies use. The single most effective technique. So here's a way to make all of this very clear. What would all of you die for? Raise your hand if you would risk your life to protect your family. See? Do you ever wonder why the army does the whole band of brothers thing and the army's a family? Do you think the army is sentimental? The army does that out of military necessity. If you look at The Art of War, written by Sun Tzu over 2,000 years ago, in The Art of War, Sun Tzu says, treat your soldiers as your children, and they will follow you into the deepest valleys. Treat your soldiers as your own beloved sons, and they will stand by you even unto death. In Shakespeare's Henry V, at West Point, I learned a famous passage which read, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers, for he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. And I think Lao Tzu, a Chinese philosopher, said it best when he said, by being loving, we are capable of being brave. Right? So if your loved ones are threatened, it's a whole different dynamic now. Any of you seen the movie Forrest Gump? Why did Forrest Gump, in the Vietnam scene, right? Bullets flying, explosions. Why does he keep running toward the explosions and the gunfire, looking for Bubba? Why does he keep doing that? Exactly. They're brothers. They're best friends. If you look at the Medal of Honor recipients, most of the time, that's what it's about, saving your comrades. It creates incredible courage and heroism in combat. Even after Forrest Gump is shot, he keeps running into the gunfire, into the danger, looking for his friend. So love of comrades is one psychological technique that the Greeks used to make soldiers fight and not retreat. Another psychological technique that the Greeks used is love of country. Love of country. So if you look at the Battle of Marathon, that's what the race was named after, the Battle of Marathon in 490 BC. The Greek army, the Athenian army, was greatly outnumbered by the Persian army, the invading Persian army. Very small Greek army, very large Persian army. By some estimates, the Persian army outnumbered the Athenian army 5-1 or 10-1. If you look 10 years later, the Battle of Salamis in 480 BC, a naval battle, a very large Persian navy, very small Greek navy. So that's pretty terrifying when you're outnumbered 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. So this was the battle cry the Greeks used at the Battle of Salamis. The battle cry went, advance ye sons of Greece, from oppression save your wives, save your children, save your country. This day the common cause of all demands your valor. Most people will die to protect their loved ones. I think many of you would die to protect your loved ones. So when the Athenians heard that, advance ye sons of Greece, from oppression save your wives, save your children, save your country. This day the common cause of all demands your valor. They were ready to fight to the death. And I think that battle cry has been used by every government since then. Not word for word, but the essence of that battle cry. So how many wars have there been in human history? Thousands, maybe? Thousands, perhaps? But do you know, in all of world history, all of military history, there's never been a single war, there's never been one war where a national leader told his people they're fighting for money or gold or oil. Never before happened, where a national leader told his population that. So what did national leaders tell their people? What did the Roman Emperor or Genghis Khan or Alexander the Great or Hitler tell their people they're fighting for? Typically, self-defense is a common one, right? Fighting for peace, fighting for democracy, freedom. If you look at the Greek and Roman countries, fighting for ideals. Liberating people is a common one. If you look at the European empires, we have to liberate these Africans living in darkness. We have to give them Christianity. We have to give them European civilization. Romans felt the same way toward the, quote, barbarians, right? The people living in darkness without Roman culture, Roman civilization, or law and order. Hitler, right? Nazi Germany published a book of all of Hitler's speeches from 1933. Very interesting book. The title of the book is The New Germany Desires Work and Peace. And they're all peace speeches. If you look at Hitler's speeches from 1939, about why he invaded Poland, in some of his speeches, Hitler talks about how the reason he has to attack Poland is Poland attacked Germany first. And Germany has to respond out of self-defense. And the Polish government is killing innocent German people on Polish territory. And Hitler talked about how the Polish kill innocent women and children. The Germans don't believe in killing innocent women and children. Now, if you read Mein Kampf, or if you read much about Hitler, you know that what he was saying isn't what he really believed. He had very destructive, devious intentions. But if you want to get the majority of the German population on your side, what's a better argument? Fighting for peace and freedom and self-defense, or what he really thought? He could have gotten a percentage of the German population to his side with what he really thought, but it would not have been as big a group. If you look at the Nazis who turned on him and tried to assassinate him when they found out about the Holocaust, he was able to get the largest group of people by having a more peaceful, self-defense oriented message, which was not in line with what he really thought. He had very destructive motivations, but he knew how to manipulate people, right? So think about that. If human beings are naturally violent, why would the greatest problem of every army in world history be when a battle begins, how do you stop soldiers from running away? And why would governments have to manipulate our love in order to make us go to war?